Joni from Joni's Creative Journey. Again, trying to play with some of this video making and learning some of the skills with this visualizer. So hopefully this will come out well and it'll give you some great information. The reason I'm doing this video today is because I'm going to be participating as a co-teacher in a class with Susan Moen on January 21st called Turn, Translate, Tangle. And part of my portion is to describe how I use oracle cards for inspiration for my tangling and in my journals. And I just wanted to show you I was having an issue today. So this is my desktop and this is my current journal. It is a beautiful journal. It's a moleskin journal and it is beautiful paper, but it's just too thin for what I like to do. So kind of to give you an idea of the kind of tangling I do attach tiles, and the paper is really thin. Sometimes I just draw, sometimes I collage and add paint. Most of the time I do my note-taking in here, and again I will add pages. I'll solve the world's problems in here. I'll add pictures. I'll take my class notes in here and then put my tiles in. I haven't taken my picture of that one. I've got to take a picture and put it in here. Then I took another class. I haven't finished that one either. This is Rejuventangle Day, all of the tiles that I did during that time, my class, Embracing Buka, Diane Harpster's class. I love the emo balls in Laura's spaghetti. They're out of order because I actually turned two pieces of paper at one time, so I had to go back and fill in pages, which leads you to my problem. My problem is that this paper is just way too thin, and you can see through it. Now what I did this week was I used some jelly roll, and when I did the back side of the paper, you could see the jelly roll through, and there's actually a little bit up here, but that inspired my color for this page. So this is some of the things that I was working on over the last few days, and I decided to add gesso and then some collage, and yes, it does make the paper thicker, but I also have to wait for the gesso to dry, and sometimes I don't want to do that. I also used some texture here with the gesso through a stencil. And again, this is acrylic paint on the gesso, and it does help this piece of paper be a little bit better, but I have to wait for this to fully dry a day or two before I can do any more tangling, even if I wanted to tangle in this border. So this is from Legends of Zentangle class the other day, and you're going to see that this is how I'm solving it. This is the issue, and I don't know if you can see the difference. It's hard to tell on the camera, but there is definitely a difference. You can see this one in my left hand is really harder to curl, and it's harder to curl because it's two pieces double-sided tape together. This one here, very, very flimsy, just not comfortable for what I like to do in my journals. So I'm going to take this page and fold it over, and this next page I am going to add some double-sided tape. Now you can really use whatever size double-sided tape you have or want. What I will do is I will start with a flat edge, and I will actually start at the center along the spine, the fold, and with with double-sided tape, you really do need to rub it down so it doesn't come up. I come right to the edge. Let me see if I can zoom in. I'm going to use the zoom in on the camera rather than reaching over. Let me see if I can come in. Okay. So I told you I'm learning these skills. So I'll move that up a little bit. And then I have a acrylic block that is from my stamps. But anything that has a flat straight edge, you just place that flat straight edge against your edge and pull, and you get a beautiful straight edge without having to worry about using scissors. The next one that I'm going to put, alright, I do like, okay, can't zoom out on the main camera, so I gotta go back here to the visualizer. What? Okay, and now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it along the bottom as close to the edge as I can get it, because I want those two pages to appear as though they're one. Sometimes if I get too close to the edge, I go over the edge, and I just have to trim it with scissors afterwards, but I'm going to make that. And then if it wasn't in a book, I might make one of these shorter and start from the end over there, and that might make it a little bit easier to cut in the end. I'm going to stand up so that I can see my top edge and place that down. And again, it doesn't have to be right next to that other piece, but it needs to be close. And then the last edge is the front edge. And again, you want this one close as you can. You know, interestingly, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this black paper. Let's put it over to just a plain black side. Along the edge, just to make it easier for me to see the edge. And I'm holding the tape where I'm going to end it so that I don't stick it down, because once I stick it down, it is stuck forever. And I have a little bit of a buckle in my page because I didn't do it straight from the middle. If you do it from the middle instead of from the end, you're less likely to get that little bit of a buckle. And for each one of these, I am putting one across diagonally. I'll take that out. Now at this point, okay, now here's the fun trick. You can use the back of your scissors as a bone folder, or a bone folder if you have one, but you do want to make sure that your double-sided tape is down. I'm not pressing with much force at all. I'm just kind of going over it, rubbing to make sure that all parts of the double-sided tape is down so that I don't pull it up when I'm taking off the second side of the paper. I have one of these dot making tools, and this one is really fine, and it's dark in here today. Let's see if I turn the light on my camera and see if that does anything. Not too much, but you can see that that point is really, really fine. And all I'm going to do with that fine point is I'm not going to go at the end, but I'm going to go in just a little bit, and I'm going to pick at that paper. Pick at the paper till it lifts, and I'm going to take off the one that's in the center. Now, slow down. Don't keep taking off paper until we look at the next bunch of paper strips. Okay? So now I'm going to go to the top. I don't want to do the bottom because my hand's going to come across here, so I don't want to be putting my hand on that tape. Number one, I'm going to get stuck on it, and number two, I'll take away some of the stickum. So I've got that under, I'm peeling that up, and I'm only going to peel it halfway, and I'm going to fold it back. Same with this middle one. Peel it back about to the same distance and just fold it over. And see, I got stuck to my tape. Okay, and now the bottom one. Again, fold it back halfway. Now I'm going to take my book and I'm going to turn my book on its side so that I have the center and the sticky edge right there. I'm going to take that thin page that I had folded over. I am going to, let's see if I can show you this from the other side. So I am going to take my hand from the center and I'm going to start to push this piece of paper forward, okay, while I'm holding up this edge, and I'm going to, from the center, I can actually, from the center I want to go out both ways, and then I can, from the center, start pushing toward the middle. Okay? If I push from the center, I'm less likely to get a buckle in the paper. And you can see the buckle that I have here on that piece of paper. Okay, it's okay. It's going to cover up in my journal anyway. All right, so now I have those. I'm going to pull those tabs. And before I fold over, I'm going to pull that last edge. I like to turn it again so I can work from the center. So I am putting my hand in the center. I'm going forward, and from the center, I'm working out to the edges to try to avoid buckles in the paper. And now my paper is so much stronger. Okay? I have a little bit of work to do because this whole book needs double-sided paper, or two papers stuck together. And I'm going to try to use it as a meditation because I was kind of irritated with the pages in this journal. So hopefully I'll feel like finishing using this journal. Thanks so much for watching. This is Joni from Joni's Creative Journey, showing my tips and tricks for using double-sided tape to put two thin pieces of paper together in a journal to make it more usable. Thanks ever so much, and I hope I'll see you at some future classes. I will be talking about journaling with Susan Moen on January 21st, 2026, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Check my Facebook page and Susan's Facebook page for information for registration. Thanks so much.